Hey y'all, it's Donna Aberson. Coming to you today to talk to you about how to have a healthy marriage. So, in order for us to have healthy marriages, we have to individually be healthy. And most of the time, we're imperfect people that are coming into a marriage bringing our baggage. So, with that being said, we want to be able to work toward being healthy individually. And so that requires maturity on your part as you grow in your marriage. So there's three components that you really have to focus on when you're trying to get healthy individually. So it's emotional, mental, and spiritual health. So the first one I will talk about is emotional health, and that means maintaining peace in all times, even during conflict. And we know that that doesn't happen. I know that in my marriage, if Scott gets crazy, I need to learn how to get calm. But most of the time, I'm the one acting crazy, and he's going to get crazy right back. Or that's how we used to be. So now we kind of even each other out. So the second thing is mental health. So that means relating with others and yourself and then responding instead of reacting. And then the third is spiritual health, remaining relating to God and having peace. So I'm going to delve into those just a little bit deeper, and I'll blog about it later, and that'll be in much more detail. So make sure you check that out. But emotional health is so important, and we come into our marriages usually with hurts. So you have bitterness, you may have unforgiveness, and it doesn't even have to be toward your spouse. It could just be relational issues that you've had in the past. So we make sure that when we're in a marriage, usually those things come out. A person that's easily irritated usually has some deep hurt there. So we want to make sure we take care of that. You also want to try and acknowledge family origin. So the way you were brought up, things you may have experienced, whether it was in your childhood or just your experience as a teen, those all affect your emotional well-being. So I remember, for instance, there were times when my parents fought and they did it in front of us. And so I saw my mom being disrespectful for my dad, so I thought it was okay, basically, to be like that and scream at my husband. And it wasn't okay, and it took me many years. Do I still do that sometimes? Yeah, but not very often. So that has gotten so much better, and I worked on that by doing marriage counseling. We did it through books. We did it through marriage events. So it took a lot of self-reflection within me. Your mental health is how we feel and act and we cope with everyday life. So with this, you need to pay attention to what you feed your mind with. So I've been more careful in the last several years than I were in our first part of our marriage. And what I watch, like on TV, what I listen to, if I hear something on the radio, I'm quick to turn it. Lately on the radio, all I hear is stuff about sex. And even though it's a good tune, it's not something I just want to just listen to all the time. One of the things I know that for Scott, with his mental health, he had a difficult relationship with his dad as a young adult. So that carried into our marriage. And of course, that cost him his joy and then related to a lot of challenges. So we had to learn how to work through those together. So when you're dealing with individual health, you're also coming together to help one another do that and support each other. So make sure, and it's the same thing that we did with that. All that marriage counseling, accountability, we did all of that. And it's okay to get counseling because sometimes we need a little help because we just don't know how to do it on our own. And the last one, spiritual health, kind of weaves both all there's four components: physical, emotional, and mental. I'm sorry, that's three all together. And that's just to help you practice strengthen your marriage spiritually. If you didn't know it, it's a critical and vital part of who God made you to be. We are spiritual, especially our commitment to one another when we're married. When we come together, we're doing it in front of friends and family, but it is a spiritual component. When we consummate the marriage, it's actually a physical and a spiritual component. We are becoming one, as God created us to be. So one of the things we do through that as well is prayer. So we do it together. So like I said, I'm not that great at that. It's a level of spiritual intimacy that you can have with your spouse that's amazing. A lot of us have trouble because we're worried about what people think when we pray out loud together, or you just don't feel good at it. But like anything in life, you got to work at it and practice it. It's okay if you don't do it well, and but it's just keep doing it. And the more you do it, there's just an amazing intimacy that y'all will experience as a couple that God intended you to have, and that you can be a reflection and help other couples too. And then when you're praying, you actually get to see your spouse's heart in a different way than just through conversation. So I hope this helps you. Please share these videos if you think it can help anyone. I just wanted to let you know you're destined for greatness, and I hope y'all have a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow, and have a great evening. Bye.